that railroad, the railroad runs on that. Yeah, I know.
It's recording right now, but
Okay.
I can't. Usually I can see the meeting.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing the meeting, but if it's recording and people can talk, then that's okay. See, I got.
Can you hear anybody talking?
I can hear people talking.
Okay. That's gonna be all that's.
Hang on, I got my computer turned down to me. No, I don't hear anybody talking.
Testing.
No, I hear what's on my phone. I hear you. Okay, so I just saw Hannah get on.
Yeah, Hannah.
Okay.
All right. I can't get you guys on camera and nobody can hear you.
Okay, so I can hear them on your phone, but I can't hear them on the thing. I'm going to log out, try and log back in again. Okay, I'll log out. You try and log back in again.
All right, yeah, I'll log out and come back in and see if that does it.
Okay.
All right.
I usually think about that. A thumbs up. We ready? Ready, Paula? I'd like to call the meeting to order for May 9th, 2023. Would you please rise for a moment of silence? Thank you. Please join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Trustee Sheets.
Here.
Trustee, what's that one? Oh, I thought it was gonna fall. Sorry. Trustee Hunter. Here. Trustee Good.
Here. Okay, and we have no minutes for tonight, correct?
I have been working on those and they're taking a lot longer than what I thought they would take, and I apologize.
Okay. And I will make a motion to pay our expenditures. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hunter.
Yes.
Trustee Good.
Yes. And visitors, do we have Hannah on?
We do have Hannah on.
Hi, Hannah. Thank you for joining us tonight. Did you say anything back?
She's muted.
Okay. Okay, as long as she can hear us.
Hi there. Thanks for having me. Sorry, I couldn't get unmuted.
Thank you for being here. We have something to bring up to you later in the meeting. So we'll go on to our other visitor, Jim Organ, about our health insurance. And you can just go ahead and have the floor and present.
Okay. Let me get this out, so. All right. Thanks for having me. We're a little past the renewal, as you guys all know. So here, the Anthem renewal came in at 8.91%, which, with all my renewals, I think I had 15 to 20 Anthem annual renewals. And most of my lower ones were right about that 8.91%. You guys are at a 0.55 factor because we went back to try and get it down, but you guys are at the lowest factor, which is good. Means is if you guys were, you got the best possible rates. So that's it. The increase though was about $35,000 additional in premium, which you guys have already seen that. Since your last meeting, we had a revised census through medical mutuals. They adjusted the rates a little bit. So they're still down almost 14% versus current. I'm not sure what it is versus the renewal, but it's still pretty good. So they're still competitive, but Aetna actually came in at almost 19% below current. And so that's like $90,000 savings versus renewal. So it's substantial. It is a level funded program. You guys have been on AMIWA, which is multiple employer welfare arrangements. It's a self-funded pool, groups that are less than 50, and it's preferred risk. All the carriers have them. Anthem has traditionally been the most competitive. But Aetna, with level funded, it's kind of, for smaller groups, it's a step before you would go to self-funded. Generally, when you get up to 200, 250 employees, that's when you start looking at self-funded. But you have the protections of fully insured with some of the benefits of self-funded. So what that means is a portion of the money you're paying in a premium goes into the pool that they pay claims out of. And if you, at the end of the year, have money remaining in those claim pool, you get a portion of that back. So it's a return on premium that you wouldn't see with it, with MIWAs or insured. So it's advantage. Now, if you have a bad year, you're not going to see any money come back. Then you have what's called stop loss that protects you beyond certain amounts from that pool. So high claimants goes in that stop loss insurance. And then you have administrative commissions, all that in another pool. So it's 3 pools in one. So if you had a bad year, you'd use up all the money in that one pool of money, and then your stop loss would kick in and pick up some of the stuff beyond that, and you'd see an increase in your stop loss premium. You have to adjust your pooling for claims payments. So you'd see an increase. If you have a good year, you're gonna see money back and potentially a really low renewal. So that's a nice thing about it. If we keep the current funding, and I've got it in the spreadsheet in the next page, the out-of-pocket on this plan is a little higher than your current. So employees on the tail end would be responsible for an additional $350 for a single or $700 for a couple, employee children, or a family. So that's something to keep in mind. You can always adjust that up. Control the HRA. You want to take it up, it's not going to be a huge ability to take that up. Okay. Does that all make sense so far?
No, that didn't make sense.
Okay. It'll make more sense when we go to the next page, and I'll explain that. So there's a lot of carriers in here. Left-hand side, you guys have seen this before. This is a description of the plan. You've got your in-network deductible, got your employer-funded HRA, wellness HRA, so you can see the combination. That's what you're paying towards the deductible. Your co-insurance, your out-of-pocket total, what the employee out-of-pocket is after if they get both the employer-funded and the wellness. Primary and specialty, which is 100% after deductible, it's 100% after deductible, urgent care. Everything goes into the deductible. The only thing after you hit your deductible that you have copays are prescription drug, which you guys are all familiar with. Below that, so you can see current rate $762 for a single, $1674 for employee spouse or couple, employee children $1286, and then families $2532. Total premium is $33,421. You can see the annual. So essentially, the next one is just your renewal. You look at the very bottom, it says 8.91%. See, it's about 35% increase or $35,000 increase. So that's what we're looking at. If I take you over, I'm gonna skip over to the admin. Cause that's the one that's most competitive. That's the one I'm gonna recommend to you guys anyway. If you look down below, the deductible's a little higher, it's 6,250 / 12,000. You've got your $3,000 and $4,000, or 4,000 for single if they hit everything, and then 8,000 if couple or family hits all their wellness dollars. The out of pocket is only 6,900, so it's not a whole lot beyond that deductible. And then it's made up of prescription copays like your current one. So what it's doing, if you look employee out of pocket at 2,900, that's if an employee, it's both the normal HRA and the wellness HRA. Are gonna be 2,900 versus if you go back, currently it's 2,550.
Okay,
Go ahead.
for this out of pocket,
Yep,
let me give you an example. Let's say on this Aetna plan for myself, just me,
yep.
my deductible is what?
Your deductible on this plan is 6,250.
Okay. So let's say I go to the hospital, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And I rack up $4,000.
Okay.
Now this, can I use
You would be able to use
3,000
all
of
your
the
HRA,
funded?
Yep.
Okay, so that leaves me a balance of 1,000.
correct?
So let's say I did all my wellness.
Yep.
So I get 1,000 for that.
Correct,
So the 4,000, I haven't
pay
paid one dime.
correct. You would be responsible after that, so you'd have that extra 2,900 after that. So anything else? occurs?
Okay, so the 2,900 means after all that
Yes.
deductible and everything.
Yes, and currently you're out of pocket if you've got all your wellness dollars plus your regular HRA, it's 2,550. That's the tail end. So it's 350 more on the tail end for everybody.
So
And
when
then
it,
2 times that for a couple of families.
That's a single, correct?
What's that? That's a single, yeah.
Yeah.
And then once the first person hits, then it's a combination of the spouse and children, family. So just like it is. now.
Let's go over that
Yeah.
for a family.
Yep.
do you have more papers?
Oh, yeah, they're up here.
You're welcome.
The reason I'm asking is because I hear rumor that people don't like this, what we've had. Me, I think it's been great. I haven't paid one dime.
Yeah.
I've heard a rumor that people are spending $5,000 and $6,000 out of pocket. I was just made aware of this last week, so I didn't know anything about it, and honestly, I don't know how.
Yeah.
But can you explain to me how we're spending 5 and 6 out of pocket?
Well, they could spend 5, 6 or something going on. Way they can spend 5,000 in the current plan is that if you got, say, the husband maxed out, and then the combination of the rest of the family maxed out, yeah, you'd have $5,000 you'd be responsible at the tail end of the current plan. Generally, that's not,
Family would have to max out.
well, yeah, one
that's
person on the first out of
$8,000.
pocket, and then the combination of family at the back end.
So that would mean in that situation where it's 5,000, the township spent 8.
Correct, correct.
So I guess I don't understand if the deductible is 8,000 for a family and they max out, they do the wellness, so they get 6,000 in the employer funded HRA, they do the wellness and get the 2.
Yep.
Why is there any more? If the deductible is 8,
Well, well, after that, in the current plan, it's made up of those RX copays. So it's really hard. That's the thing, once you've hit that deductible,
Mhm.
that's a lot of copays to get to that point. Now, where there could be an issue is if someone's either going on a network and that wouldn't be covered by the HRA, and that could
okay.
potentially put you
I
that
don't
much.
think that's-
What's that?
I don't think that's the problem. I think all of us have kids. Us older guys are on medications,
Yep,
so we're using it for prescriptions. And then broken arms, broken legs, wellness visit, or, just going to the doctor, it just adds up. And you're taking this money and you're dividing it, like for me, you're dividing it by 5 people. 6
Yeah.
people, 4 people, so the money goes really quick. I think that's what's
But once you've met your deductible, if you're in network, you shouldn't have to pay anymore for doctor's visits,
No,
right?
no, it should just be prescription drug at
Yeah,
that.
but you're splitting that.
The thing about it,
From
it's
your family's deductible.
$1,200 per person in my family.
I know, but what I'm saying is once you meet your deductible, you shouldn't have any more cost for those. We're funding,
You guys, well, the card only has 6,000 on it.
Well, they have to pay,
you have to
they
do the
pay
wellness.
nothing after they've paid
And
5,000.
the wellness only applies for next year. If I do wellness this year, that money doesn't get out until next year.
But if you did it
So
last
if I
year,
did
you
it
would-
last year, well, that's when we took on this plan initially, everyone was behind because we were all under the assumption we're doing the wellness this year and it was going to be part of that year's thing. And then we found that out, no, that's. for
didn't
next
we
year.
give everybody at the first year when we changed, they got it up
You got it
front
first year.
as opposed to be, but that would have been
How much is Noonan in the hole right
2
now?
plans ago, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Jamie just had to put his credit card on file. There's something he's doing.
Well, and I'm gonna be real honest, if everybody's having issues, I really, really wish they would have said something. Or I would have found out something prior to last week. We are behind the ball as far as getting renewed. And now we're kind of at a crossroads because I don't know what the issues are because all I'm hearing is,
Honestly, we didn't know. I didn't know. This just came up to me last week that this was going on.
What do you think about this meeting?
well, I asked the chief to let you guys know as soon as we had said it, but if there's been issues, it's been the same plan, so we renewed for 15 months and then we had a 12-month plan prior to that. So we have had this for over 2 years. And I'm gonna be honest, the first time I've heard anything that there's issues. So, you know, if we're having issues, I definitely would like somebody to let us know.
Right, I would have liked to have known a lot sooner because I use it. I'm one to never go to the doctor.
Yeah.
But now I have high blood pressure and, I had this ear thing going on since Labor Day. I've went to a specialist 4 times. I've not paid 1 penny. I've had prescriptions and I think, wow, this is great insurance. And I had no idea that you guys were paying out of pocket responsible for that and I still have a lot left.
I
I
think
could
some of it is
go.
accepting of the plan. We, it is really good that we have this card. The money's loaded. I just don't think it doesn't really come to fruition until the end of the year when you are getting out of pocket because you have all year and then by the time the end of the year comes, it just kind of happens. So I don't know. It's hard to, I can't speak on everybody, but.
I mean, so nobody will offer us a plan like a tradition, correct? A traditional, just you go in and pay your $20 and
I mean,
you've got $1,000 deductible. I don't know that anybody will offer us that because our group is so small.
Yeah.
well, no, you can still do that. They're more expensive.
Okay.
You pay a premium for that. There's ways to do it.
Yeah, I thought we had got rejected.
No.
I know a few places that have that.
This is a strategy a lot of townships are using.
Sure.
They're going, pushing that deductible up and then a lot of them are, honestly, a lot of my other townships are funding most of it. I mean,
We do
there's not a
now,
lot-
right?
What's that?
We fund it now, right?
Well,
Nearly.
I'll give you an example, Harrison Township, Lake County, or Monroe Township. They're funding pretty much all the out of pocket. So I've got a lot of townships that do that. I got some townships that, have it a little bit different, 80-20 all the way.
And
Why?
how much are those people, the employees paying?
It varies. It varies. Like Monroe Township, one of the things they did is they mandated if employees' wives worked, any spouse worked, that they were required to go on insurance for their employer. So that's something that you're seeing as well.
I don't want to get into that.
I know, there's
That's.
a lot of
What's
different
that?
things.
10%. Last year, our cost was close to $500,000 for insurance because our employees are paying the Anthem portion. We also paid $16,500 for dental that you guys don't pay.
Got the vision.
The vision, that's $3,415. The cafeteria reimbursement, so that if you don't take it and you're on your wife's, that is 8,650. The funding, the HRA funding, we paid out 440,000. No, that was, sorry, 71,150. Your services, 1,785. The Healthiest You plan, does anybody use that? That cost us $716. Is that something we have to have?
We
If you go
added
with the
that.
Aetna, you could prop that because they have built-in no charge telehealth.
Telehealth. Yeah, we added that as a benefit
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah, we've used it.
Yeah, Teledoc's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. So
Does anybody use the Healthiest You?
that's the telehealth.
Yeah. So
So you
But
do
you
use.
say it, if we go with Aetna, we could drop that
Yeah,
because.
they have it built in.
And then we have the.
Well, if they use it though, do they offer something?
Oh, yeah, it's built in. In fact, I sent Randy a whole bunch of, I've got some, I just printed one for each one. They've got all kinds of, like CVS is part of that now. So if you go to their Minute Clinic, there's no charge. It's a zero copay to go to Minute Clinics. Which, if you guys with kids, that'll save you money. Then you got the Teladoc at no charge.
One thing to take a hit on is if you gotta use orthodontics,
That's everywhere.
I'm paying 10 grand.
Yeah, I mean, you know what benefits I have and, I paid $1,500. I paid the rest. So
I just
that is,
information yesterday.
dental insurance is not up with the times. I think everybody's been saying that for years, with those very low maxes. I mean, you could max out in one visit. If you needed a crown or something, then you're done for the year. And then that's kind of everywhere.
I found out too, the orthodontist, if you shop around, save money.
I did. There's a lot. This is a 4-year.
Well, yeah,
process.
you're under the same thing as me. I
Shop
mean,
around, it's like a used car sales under cover
Yeah.
TV.
$1,500, that's it, nothing else. And that's a lifetime, so if you need them again.
Is the Aetna option, is that like a true
think that's
HSA where, like, something that we could donate to also?
Well, you could, but the fact that you guys are getting HRA dollars, this allows the ability to put money into an HSA. That's the downside end. Now, you could actually, if the HRA dollars kicked in after a certain point, I forget what that amount is, and you got paid after, like, let's say you paid the first 2,000 up front, and then you had the HRA pay in the back end, you could actually put money into an HSA account and have it tax deductible. I forget what those amounts are, but I get you. That's another way to do it. Backload the HRA, and you got the ability to put money into HSA.
If we did go with the Aetna plan, the employee share, that 10% would go down by, 18%. So everybody would see that difference in the pay. So is, the current plan that we're on, the Anthem plan, are they just letting us stay at the same rate we've been paying?
Yeah, well, no, it's 8.9%.
Oh, wait, so we're paying the new rate
Yeah,
for,
we took the
for this
increase.
month to month? Okay.
Correct.
I was like, if we're doing that, why don't we just never make a decision?
It'd be nice if that was the case. So here's some information. Randy can email this up to you, or I can send it to you. That's a Teladoc cost.
He has to explain this to me. Do you understand it?
Don't have the flyer on the CVS, but there is the Minute Clinics. There's no copay to use the Minute Clinics, which is really nice.
Can you explain the difference again between what we have and what
Yeah.
Aetna offers?
So what you guys have is, it's called a MEWA. So it's a self-funded pool, it's preferred risk. You've got to be an employer with less than 50 employees to be eligible. All the carriers have them, United Healthcare, Medical Mutual, Anthem, or the Anthem one. Any savings generated just kind of goes back into the pool and it's part of your renewal. The end is called a level funded. It's an AFA level funded, which means that you guys are, it's kind of a quasi self-funded, not fully self-funded. The rates don't change from start to finish, guaranteed like a fully insured. So you got your composite rates here. The only way that changes if you drop a family and a single or whatever, it'll adjust up and down that way.
And how's that different than from what we have now?
So what's different is you have your own pool of money. So there's 3 pools of money. One, they're paying claims out of. So a portion of it goes in this large pool of money. They're paying claims out of that. So, you go to the doctor, they're going to pay out of that. It's got a individual amount that once it exceeds that, let's say it's $100,000, stop loss would kick in. So you got extra insurance, another pool of money goes into stop loss. It's insurance to kind of protect beyond that pool. And then you've got administrative costs, commissions, admin, and all that kind of stuff. So what happens is on that one big pool of money you're paying claims, if you have a good year, you do well, there's money left over, you get a portion of that back. So that's the difference. You could actually see money back.
So Anthem is just one big pool that they,
Yeah, you don't get any money back from that. Level funded, you actually can get a return of some of your premium back.
and while I'm thinking about it, didn't you say you have to pay a lot of different things?
Well, that is included in like the Burnham and Flowers, the Healthiest You and.
What I read off
Mhm,
to
mhm.
you? So do they bill as one bill or would everything be?
Well, I think the Burnham and Flower is separate than
It's,
this.
yeah,
So we're all, I think regardless who you go with, you're gonna probably have that, correct?
yeah. So Burnham and Flowers manages your HR, usually cost to administer that. So that's at $4,000 or $8,000 that you have available to employees. Burnham Flowers administers that for you and manages.
That was the $1,700.
Yeah, the debit
Administrative,
card and the
yeah.
app and all that, that's theirs. And then Healthiest You, I think, is that coming in through Burnham Flowers or is Healthiest You?
Yeah,
going
they
to-
bill us separate.
Yeah, so Healthiest You is separate.
So
With
that
that-
would not be with Aetna because that's included.
You wouldn't need it. They have their own teledoc, so you could utilize that and get rid of Healthiest You. So you're gonna save money there as well. And down the road, if you ever make a switch, you can always pick up Healthiest You later.
Does this Aetna plan come with any sort of EAP benefit?
There is,
They currently buy EAP benefits.
you could eliminate that as well. I'd compare it.
Well, so I get a monthly report that I've been getting, I don't know, for 4 or 5 years. And I think I've seen 2 people use it, once.
Oh, really?
So nearly every single month it says nobody used it.
So you're paying for something.
So and I would never want to take away EAP benefits. I think especially in your guys' line of work, those are important.
Yeah.
But if it's something that Aetna covers, there's no reason to have an additional.
God, and I think I don't think I have the flyer with me, but one of the flyers I sent you had EAP. in it.
Okay, yeah, I knew you sent me a lot of stuff. I forwarded.
It was like
but I
9
printed off.
attachments.
Yeah, my printer is out of ink at home, so.
But didn't Anthem also have that?
No, they don't have their own EAP, so
Okay.
that's why you have a separate EAP.
Okay,
I think we added that a while back. There was some deaths that had happened that it kind of impacts some people. And that's when there's a decision to add the EAP to support those individuals.
Is there a difference between the two EAPs?
I'm not certain. It should be very similar. Randy, can you send that email out with all the attachments and then take a look at the EAP?
Yeah, well, I know what EAP is.
If you can take a look and see what their flyer.
Three visits and then then you're on your own paying for it. out of
Yeah.
pocket, which is not cheap.
I don't
No.
even know what our current EAP, I know Chief Taylor had set it up when he was there. I don't know what it covers. But I do know it's very, very, very rarely used. Because they send every month, they send like a report.
That's a good thing. That's a good tracker.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't tell me who. It just
Yeah.
says, if somebody used it, which
It's good.
I'm glad if people need to use them, they should. But if we have them available through our insurance, there's no reason to have a separate. And I don't even know that anybody knows what those benefits are or how to use them. I think I said
Yeah.
here, I thought we should get rid
And
of it.
we pay we pay about $140 a month for that too, is what we pay.
For what I'm
For that,
saying?
for that extra EAP
I think it's like
service that we
100
have, we
and
pay
I think
140 a
it's like
month.
160 something.
Didn't you have it on there how much it was for
Is
the
that what you
year?
said, just
Yeah.
three visits with that thirty AB?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a lot of money for. Try to use it, if it's built into Aetna,
Is that the healthiest you?
No,
No,
oh, it's not on.
it's that help net. And
Help net.
so we kind of like have kept that separate as it is separate.
Yeah, it is.
It wasn't
It's
included.
not
in-
included with our package with.
I think it's like 160 some dollars. Actually,
It's
that help net. But I think you can go to Ohio
I
Health
think
for
that's
it.
where that's where they directing. And say, it's offered through that, and I imagine then if it just defaults through insurance.
Right.
I think they have a bill on tonight's meeting. Let's see. No, I guess not. I was thinking there was a bill in tonight's bills, but, oh, yeah, they changed the name. It's Bronson Health Net. It's 164.92 a month,
160.
164.92. They changed the name to it. It's,
That health issue was 7 something.
it's Bronson Health Net.
716.
so this one you get 3 free face-to-face or televideo sessions. And then after that, you can find somebody that's, or even at the beginning, choose a provider who's in the medical plan network and it can run through your deductible.
And I get those emails too, Randy.
Huh.
Chief, and I get those.
Okay.
That's kind of nice. It's gonna be
I was just looking.
kind of safer and competitive as well. Help offset some of those costs. But it looks, I mean, it looks traditional. It's a lot of the same issues that grief, legal, financial, childcare, elder care, depression, legal and financial, daily life assistance, all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty standard EAP. And the Aetna network is, I have Aetna through Nationwide Children's Hospital, that's where my wife works, and everybody takes it. Never had any problems. So,
What are your guys what are you guys thinking? What are your opinions?
I have no idea yet. Just gotta take it all in.
Lieutenant Johnson, what are you thinking?
I guess to me, overall, saving the township money for something similar is a good thing. I mean, I'm not as concerned about lowering what I pay every month. My biggest concern is what we're throwing out of pocket. I think that's going to be most people's concern.
you throw something out there, what about potentially adding additional dollars so that the out of pocket's the same as what you have now is one thing I recommend. The other thing is maybe let's give everybody the opportunity to get their wellness dollars this year. So they could do it for this year, but also for next year as well. So you can kind of start over, and those that haven't done it, they get a chance again to do it if they didn't do it last year. So you get them out there, really push it. And then whatever they do this year will count for next year. We'll go back to get the dollars you did the previous year. Like,
Well, through the grant, we're getting ready to start a department-wide wellness program anyway. So
So how would that
you're,
affect it?
Would, so whatever plan we decide to go with, would you, and do you think everybody would come if, even if they weren't working? Would you mind coming in and kind of going over the details of all the plans with everybody, and we'll ask everybody to attend even,
yeah, we'll just have to get them. I know we had a couple that wanted to be here, but they had kid things that they.
Sure,
they were
and
doing.
we could definitely set that out, make sure we give a couple of weeks' notice so that
We can broadcast this to them and everything, and so they can start looking at that.
and get their,
Get their
Coming up.
questions in order or whatever.
right, and then Jim, and I can attend too. I like to stay knowledgeable in our plan so that I can, hopefully answer questions as needed.
and if anybody wants to give me a call, I'll do one-on-ones as well. Sometimes that saves some time.
Sure.
Do your two guys, I know you don't. Do the other two guys
Yeah, Rick and Greg are both looking.
tell them so they can be here?
Told them to be here tonight, so
Yeah, and they
Tell them
was
to
last
really be
minute.
here the next time.
they won't send their wives.
Yeah, they can.
That's
they can
fine.
come.
Send the kids, maybe send the wives.
So your recommendation is the Aetna.
It's a lot of money to save. Plus with all the bells and whistles that are part of the program, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think that want to look at adjusting the out of pocket so it's consistent with what you guys have right now.
Why is it such a drastic saving?
Just,
That's
they
what
have,
I'm worried about.
well, it's, what happens is you got underwriters that take a look at your apps and they look and see what they think the potential costs are going to be for the group and they come up with rates. And that has been really aggressive.
But
Right.
isn't it
So that's
also
good.
because the deductibles are quite a bit different?
Yeah, I mean, as part of the out of pocket, it's not a whole lot more.
But
So
the
that's really what you want to look at.
deductible max is,
But they've got a lot of bells and whistles as part of it. They've been getting aggressive. I've moved a few townships to them.
So currently, I'm gonna use family since we have more people. There's an $8,000 deductible. You fund 6 with no attachments, an additional 2 if they do the wellness.
Correct.
Whole deductible, 100% of it.
Yep.
What is the out of pocket? That's what I don't understand.
So the out of
And then-
pocket is, that's just prescription copays.
Okay, so
That's-
then if we move to this Aetna,
Because really it's 13. 13 is the real number. So you're right, we do the 8, we hit that deductible, it's that weird $5,000.
right, okay, so now I'm understanding. So, but you've got to completely max out everything to get to that, right?
Yeah.
So if we move to this Aetna, and I'm gonna use family again, $12,500.
Yep.
We're gonna fund 8 of that? When we used to fund 100%?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, that's just all what Michelle did, spreadsheet, this is just using the same funding. That's why I would say you might want to take a look at how you're funding it with the state plan. It might eat into some of those savings, but it might. make
well, it
things-
potentially could if they're saying they've already maxed out. Because, and I just went with the 8,000 for the 17 people under Anthem. At the max, we're looking at $136,000. If you take the 12,500 at 17 people, you're looking at 212,500. So that's a pretty good, that's
What's the difference in those numbers?
like 70-some thousand dollars. So
Currently, we spent 71,000. How many people would that be, Max?
I mean, you're saving here, but then you're talking about potentially spending elsewhere. So it's,
That's like about-
you got to look at the total balance. You can't just look at 1 or 2 figures.
Well, but the out of pocket, if you've got people maxing now, out of pocket for a single is only $350.
What's the difference between out of pocket and employee out of pocket?
So employee out of pocket, that's after you take out the dollars that you guys are funding the HRA.
So
if you get the full 4,000 and it's 6,900 is the total out of pocket, you got 2,900. That's where you're getting out of pocket.
oh, so okay.
Yeah, it's a little more complex because we've got your funding in here and it's showing the.
I wish it didn't have that line, the out of pocket, because that to me looks like 2 different things.
Yeah, so that out of pocket is if you didn't have the HRA, 6,900 is the out of pocket. If you got the HRA and you're getting all the dollars, it's 2,900 out of pocket. You look at your current plan, 2,550 is the back end for a single if they've got all the HRA funding. Generally looking, it's 300.
So the difference is essentially $350 for a single and $800 difference for an individual. Could we fund the difference?
Yeah,
Is that an option?
Yeah.
I mean, there is a significant, I haven't run the numbers to see even what that looks like, but I could do that real quick.
I think I looked last year, you guys Yeah, about 66% of it's full funding.
That's what I was thinking. We
Yeah.
usually plan for 70.
But you gotta remember, we have 2 more full-time employees that we didn't have last year.
Right. I'm at 70% of the
Yeah.
whole.
So if we go with Aetna, these guys that have families, 4 or 5 kids, a broken arm here, broken leg, Wyatt broke his when he was a kid riding a dirt bike. So they could end up and have to spend $5,800 of their own money before they get to the
Potentially,
100%.
And but that's how it is now. It's 500.
So they're not $800.
If we funded the difference, it's $86 with the amount of money that we're saving and dropping these two,
Is that what most of the stuff is, accidents and stuff with
then
kids
that is
and
considered
families?
something.
One of our
But
employees.
what about the
He had
deductible?
some illnesses with
Yeah.
his kids.
You
That's
guys
something,
ever-
something crazy.
Maybe having an accident plan in place?
Like an Aflac or something?
Yeah. I mean, they have group plans. They
Individuals
used to
can
have
do
authority
it, but
on
we don't have
person.
it here.
I played soccer. My kids all played soccer. We were in the ER, at least 2 of us every year. So.
Yeah.
Accident policies can cover a lot of those dollars.
Yeah, which the union has done a good job of coming in, OAPFF and all those have been coming in with that, those Aflac plans.
Yeah.
Because, kids in sports is definitely gonna increase that.
Funded.
Yeah.
So some guys jump in on that.
The difference.
That's what I would recommend.
A
Somebody,
lot of it is just helping
We have up to
having enough conditions for kids that have no conditions
exactly
required,
25, 50.
expensive medications and
Yeah.
expensive treatments, specialists.
And then you've got these.
No, I understand.
Rather than just, accidental. Accidentals, maybe once a year, whereas something that, just like that, that's ongoing.
No, I totally get it.
That's right, so I would.
But Randy, are you just looking at the out-of-pocket difference or the deductible difference?
No, just the out-of-pocket difference, to keep that
Okay.
out of pocket.
Okay, but you're still talking, $4,500 difference on family deductible max. But somebody's gonna have to eat. And I don't think the township can afford it if I understood you guys correctly, that you're looking at maybe being a levy in a year or two. I don't see how the township can meet that.
No, I don't think you quite understood what I was saying. I didn't say fund, but what did I?
Well, no, I'm just saying, we all need to know what it is. So I'm just saying somebody's gonna have to, if we raise that deductible, if the township's not taking it, that means the guys are taking it. I'm just saying everybody needs to be clear about what's what.
Right,
Okay,
that's why we brought Jim in. to
okay,
explain
and
that.
that's what I'm asking.
I guess I don't understand what you're asking.
Okay, there's currently under Anthem, there's a $8,000 max.
I understand, that's why we
Deductible.
brought Jim in to explain all the
Okay.
differences so that we could make.
Okay,
decision.
and under Aetna, it's $12,500.
Right,
Okay. So if they're already meeting their deductible or maxing out their deductible now, the odds are they're probably gonna go into that higher part of that $4,500 deductible. So I'm just saying, you need to know who's gonna be responsible for that $4,500 difference. It's not just gonna magically get paid by itself somewhere.
I think you're getting caught up on the deductible. What you really want to look at is the out of pocket, because once you get out of pocket, the carrier pays it 100%.
Okay,
So if you look at that out of pocket, it's only going up 350 for a single, or 700 for a family.
That's what Randy was getting at with the out of pocket there.
Yeah.
my suggestion was the difference in the out-of-pocket, which is $300 for an employee only,
800.
and 800 Oh, wait, I forgot the 5. I think that's it. An additional funding per year potentially. But at saving, nearly, 110 grand in premiums, we could easily afford to fund 1,200 additional dollars. Is my math correct here?
Yeah,
So if we funded the difference, which would basically keep the out of pocket the exact same, so no increase in the out of pocket, $300 for employee only, so that'd be 600 additional dollars that we'd fund. And then 15 between the employee, spouse and family for $12,000.
Yep.
So that'd be $12,600.
and you're probably
Additional
about
funding.
66%.
Right.
So it'd be a little less.
But that's keeping the out of pocket not increasing for the employees.
Yeah,
But at the same time, employees are still going to see 18% reduction in what we take from your, the 10% contribution. So there's a little savings there also, it doesn't obviously pay the whole out of pocket, but a little bit, for a family, that's 60 some dollars a month, rough estimate.
Yeah, we pay for a family, I think 108 per pay. And that would probably 18.5% would drop to like, I think $20. So take down to $88 per pay. Ish. Give or take.
Like I said, that obviously doesn't pay the whole out of pocket, but it does, if we funded the difference, that wouldn't increase anybody's out of pocket. While still, being able to substantially save.
Could you leave it at 108 per pay and just increase it on your end? So lose the 18% savings, and then you're talking about $12,000. Am I getting that right? So they could pay more for their insurance instead of dropping it and then.
Well, one, the contract has a set
Okay.
amount. And I don't really see. Because that would basically make it a different percent and I don't know how that would work. I've never thought of that.
So it would be a true 10% of the premium.
Right, and then you turn into these weird calculations of,
So
you have a thought? Oh, I'm never,
Nobody's just speechless.
add something, add to the conversation.
We've never witnessed that.
I mean, I was.
Answer, I got a couple of quick questions. Because I went through this. Nothing like the state of Ohio going, oh, by the way, you can't have insurance. And then putting yourself out in the marketplace, which was like standing in the middle of the road asking somebody to bring you down.
Yes, my mom.
How does this, okay, January 1, let's see what the premium year of January to January. January 1, you get sick and you have to go to the hospital. Okay, what does it cost you? You're talking about maximum out of pockets and you're talking about employee out of pockets. What's it gonna cost you if you go to the hospital? Or better yet, you're sick and you've got the flu and you have to go to the doctor. You go to the doctor Tuesday morning. What's it gonna cost you to go to the doctor?
Well,
There's no copay with this plan?
so if you go to the doctor, say it's $100 office.
So you gotta pay the whole $100 off?
No, they have a card that's preloaded.
That's with the
Yeah,
HRA.
so they would use that,
HRA.
they would use that preloaded card that the township fund and swipe their card to pay that
Do they
$100.
have an option for an FSA? To additionally fund it? Because that's done pre-tax.
But that's employee dollars.
That's employee dollars,
Right.
but it's done pre-tax.
Sure. The only thing I
there's
don't,
limitations. If you've got an HRA, an FSA can only be used for dental and vision until you've got a certain amount of your deductible, generally the whole time. I have that through Children's. And I've got $4,000 deductible and $8,000 out of pocket. We can't use our FSA until we hit the $4,000 deductible. Then I can use it for medical.
and then you have that, you run
It's
that
called a limited FSA.
of contributing too many dollars.
They make it real complex.
Blue Cross gives me $1,000 to spend for both of us. whatever, well, we put the max on, yeah, that's that. So that covers like co-pays. Stuff, if I go to the doctor, it's $25. And we're seeing. And obviously, 2 or 3 years in a row, I ran that $2,500 maximum out of pocket, like $2,500 for March. So I never saw them until this year anyway. So I just didn't know about it, so I understand there's not enough souls in the plane. Negotiate.
I'm kind of seeing how you guys can be spending so much money with kids and going to the doctor and paying the full amount coming out of that HRA. It can,
It just, yeah, it's
does add up quick.
Yeah, like I said, a couple injuries here and there, illnesses as of recent have been hit hard. They're, so, for children's. So it's just, and they're only seeing 6,000 on the card because, like, you know, I don't name dropping it and all that stuff, but for example, he didn't get to do the wellness last year to make it valid for this year. So he only has 6,000, not 8,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially don't,
Senior
can't they earn well?
No point.
Then we should be allowing him to do it last year, this year for this year.
Yeah,
And then get credit.
The things fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
That's just, so.
Just let us know that stuff, because I can take care of that stuff with Thermal Flowers if I know that. I'm saying let's do it for everybody this year. So that
Who
everybody has
funds
a
the
chance. to-
wellness program?
What's that?
Who funds the wellness program? The township?
Yeah.
So that
Basically.
$2,000 for a family. Once they do everything required,
It's pretty limited, if I recall. It's going to your doctor for wellness and non-smoking. I'm trying to remember all.
what if we don't do that and just put the 2,000 with the 6,000?
Eliminate the wellness dollars?
Can you do that?
Oh, yeah, you guys,
Do we
I
get
told them-
penalized for anything?
no, it's up to you guys.
We're paying it regard, if somebody's maxed out and doing the wellness, I mean, the only.
I think that lessen a lot of confusion. And with the grant that we're getting, we're gonna be doing physicals. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, physicals and
Who does the wellness? Do we know? How many people do it? But I mean, currently, like, do you guys actually do the wellness? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a group, yeah. And it's literally just a physical. Like when I go into, I have to go to my doctor every 3 months just to get the prescriptions I take. And she just fills out my form for me right there.
Okay.
Super easy. Like
It's
even
like-
though I'm on high blood pressure, as long as I'm being medicated for it.
Sure.
It's
So
correct.
the wellness is only a physical.
It's a physical.
So we're giving $2,000 for a physical that you guys get anyway through.
And you don't smoke, I'm assuming.
I don't, yeah.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, it's really simple. I can tell you through children's, I've got to do wellness through children's. If I don't do it, they hit me with a penalty. And I can't, it's probably $100 or $200 a month more than we pay for our health
Wow.
insurance. Oh, yeah. There's,
That's what I wondered, if
yeah,
we get.
so I,
penalty,
trust me, I do it.
But we're not paying it if everybody's not doing it.
Right.
But if they're doing it, we're paying it. It
Right.
sounds like it's only a
Yeah.
physical, so would be okay though. I don't know.
That's, you guys have control over that. I mean,
legitimately, we're gonna be doing it.
whatever
anyway.
together,
Yeah.
whatever you guys want.
It's gonna be required.
Sure.
essentially.
Well, that makes sense. Eliminate that and move it into the wellness.
I'd say we're gonna pay a little more because I'm sure everybody doesn't do it.
Right.
But
I'd have to, we can get with the guys, you know, and talk about it with them and see who does actually get some solid.
I'd be okay.
who's really-
I think there's only a couple people that do it.
They're gonna be mandated to do it anyway now, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so they got no choice. So it's gonna happen.
That's kind of a moot
Well,
point.
but don't the wellness points also, are they calculated just on the employee or on the family?
It's both.
So your mandated wellness for the employees isn't gonna affect the families, right?
But other kids have to have physical.
No.
No, it's just.
Is that all it is? It's a physical?
It's you and your spouse.
So physical, there's, I forget what, so you get points for not smoking,
Like little online stuff.
high blood pressure, if you don't have it. For that, but if you take care of certain things, get credit for that.
It's like 5 things.
Yeah. It's fairly simple. If you got high blood pressure or any other certain conditions, as long as you're taking care of it, you get credit for it. So it's not difficult. It's a matter of getting people to do it. The whole goal is to get people to start looking at the numbers so that they're paying attention and hopefully it changes behavior. It's the whole goal of wellness.
I think one of the biggest things is we have people that don't understand how to use it, how the wellness works, and I think we need to sit down with you, Jim, and figure that out with everybody.
No, that's fine. If you guys are gonna keep it, if you're not, then.
Right. Yeah, I still think once we have a plan decided, maybe we put together some kind of little, handout so everybody kind of knows what you have, where we're at, what you do, how to do it.
Absolutely.
More thoughts from you guys?
Because that was stuff that I wanted to take back to the guys, you know. Yeah. I think we need to compile questions and have that meeting where we can get some things figured out. It can be quick. It can be relatively quick. I'm sure guys would jump all over this immediately.
So are we good if we wait another month and just pay month to month?
Oh, yeah.
What if somebody's having surgery in the midst of this change? How is that gonna complicate
They would,
if we switch to Aetna?
so let's say if the surgery happens while they're under Anthem, Anthem's gonna continue it through that surgery. They have follow-ups and it would fall under the new carrier.
And where can we find a list of in-network and do you know, are they all the same?
It's gonna be really close. I mean, that is huge. Ohio Health, Ohio State. All of them are, I have no problem with doctors. I've had a lot of years through children. So it's pretty robust. And I think they're the second largest in United Healthcare. So they've got a great deal. Like I mentioned, that CVS connection, there's some discounts and things, as well as use our mini clinic at no charge. That'll save some dollars for people. Telemedicine's built in. They've got a lot of bells and whistles as well.
Good to wait.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, that gives us some time to regroup and go over everything together and, also talk it over with our significant others.
Yes, sir.
Ask our kids if they've
Good
been
answer.
breaking bones this year.
Yes. Or some dolls.
Buy some bubble wrap. And the other thing to keep in mind, anything that you incur towards your deductible, get deductible credits, you get credit as you make them. So.
Yeah, so how's that gonna work with changing in the very middle of the year?
Just, and I can't remember, sometimes they'll take a report from Anthem, or it's a matter of just getting your EOBs and we submit it to Aetna.
I mean,
Get credit for
do
that.
we still have, with it being, so will our plan run like,
Still calendar. So let's say let's say you hit $4,000 towards your deductible, you would start with $4,000 with that.
Okay, so
You
we're
get
not gonna
credit for
fund, if somebody's already met the max and we switch, we're not gonna have to pay the max for them again in the same year?
I mean, they'll get credit for the 4,000 because 1,000 was the deductible with Anthem. Get 4,000 towards the new deductible.
Okay. I guess what I was asking, so if we've already paid the max on somebody, say of
Oh, on the
$6,000, yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
We're gonna turn around and fund another for the same year?
Because they're getting credit for all that with the deductible with the new carrier. So yeah, I wouldn't pay additional.
Okay, so like if they had $2,000 left on their card for this year, they would have $2,000 starting in with the new plan
Yeah.
and their deductible
And
would
then they
be
get credit
wherever
for
they're
that.
at.
Right.
Okay,
And then if you decide to add additional dollars, just have that added on.
okay.
And if you decide to waive the wellness, make sure those that didn't have it, you just have to.
Okay. So do we have an idea so that maybe when we regroup, Jim can kind of bring out an updated of this of what we think we want to see in it? Do we want to eliminate the wellness and go ahead and just throw it in? Do we want to fund the difference in the out of pocket for about say 12,600? That way he could have a completely updated
Easy to do, it's just
Yeah,
spreadsheet.
I just thought maybe we tell them what it is we want.
Then keep the wellness since they're already going to be doing that.
Keep the wellness separate? Or
Just like it is,
Okay.
just like it is. And then
Fund the difference.
fund the difference.
That's my thoughts.
I guess I don't,
Plug that in the spreadsheet, so you see it that way.
I mean, as far as like,
How long will you guys need to have your meeting with everybody? Get back with us?
As quick as you want.
so
Tell us when we'll make it happen.
basically, essentially what we're proposing is no different. So we're gonna fund the difference in the out of pocket. So those out of pocket numbers that you see in the renewal column will be the same as they are now, instead of up the 800 and 300 higher. So essentially, I think it would be about the same.
Same thing.
plan, yeah.
So do you guys think we need to have a meeting?
I mean,
Yeah,
If it's gonna be,
we're not, insurance committee, nothing like, so yeah, 100%.
I know, but we're not changing anything.
Right.
Or it does go up 8.91%, so that will affect our pay.
It goes down.
Are we going to have it?
Huh?
yes.
Oh, so it'd be going
Yeah,
to.
you guys will get,
Yeah,
you'll get a reduction.
I'm sorry, I thought
here.
we were renewing.
You get a pay and.
No, if we renew, yes, it's gonna be if we renew exactly what we have, we're talking about making this Aetna plan mirror what we have now,
Okay,
but it's just under Aetna instead of Anthem.
and your prescription card will be lower,
You've got lower amounts in that,
and you have things offered like CVS Minute Clinic,
yeah. Yeah, tell.
telehealth. Thank you.
Jim.
You can read my mind.
That's service.
My grandson
Oh, hell.
was coughing. I had to.
I'm curious. By that.
That's good.
That's kind of gross.
I think
So we
regardless of
made
what decision you guys make tonight, whether you just go with it or you wait, no matter, but I'd still, if you make the decision to move, I think we should still have a meeting that way everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. And then everybody can be on They know what the wellness is, they know how to do it, they know, all the things. So I think between Jim and I, we could probably put a little presentation and handouts together with all the benefits that are available and all that good stuff.
I think that pandemic kind of threw us behind a little bit.
Well, and we
Face to
renewed
face.
1 year, we just flat renewed because we got a good renewal rate, so that.
Would anyone else like coffee? That's why one drop.
That one-way coffee.
One way coffee.
After all you've done.
Fun, different.
So let's just go ahead with it, then have a meeting.
And have a meeting, what we have, this is what it is. Oh, and like, yeah, no premiums are not gonna increase on your paycheck, they're actually gonna go down.
Definitely if you could provide, as far as the network.
Yeah.
So that would be, obviously, if we change that, could mean some of us are gonna have items like this. So.
You probably shouldn't.
Edna,
I would hope not, I know it's,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
And you should have,
Children's Hospital just did.
you should have online access.
Or was that with?
I know whenever I have United Healthcare, whenever I wanna look up, I jump on UHC, put in a doctor's name, it pops up. Yeah, or if I don't know what doctor I'm, I'm looking for a dermatologist, I type in dermatologist, it throws me a whole list of who's covered and closest to me.
I'll get you the network.
Because there's some providers that it's very inconvenient.
Nice thing about Aetna too is there's a lot of carriers that lease Aetna's network. So not just Aetna, but a lot of other carriers use Aetna's network. It's pretty. My hands. So, but I'll get the link out. Get it to Randy so she can afford it.
Thank you.
And then if you would forward all the flyers on.
Sure. And, we could definitely, I can't do it from home, but we could definitely have a bunch of printouts and stuff, set up a meeting, have all the information for everybody. You're welcome to bring your spouses so that they know and understand and all that good stuff. I think, just make sure we all communicating the information and.
If you guys are deciding to go with, I'll get the Aetna rep to come in and even dive into some of the stuff that I can.
Okay. So, and then I guess, that we wanted to fund that additional on the
Yep.
out of pocket.
Yep.
So that change would be made. Okay. Me? I will make resolution 29, to move to the Aetna option, and what would the start date be of that?
I'm looking at 6/1.
We can do 6/1?
Yeah, that's the proposal 6/1 right now.
Awesome. Effective 6/1/23, one change to the presented numbers, which would be the township funding the difference between the current plan out of pocket and the new out of pocket. Paula, do you need anything else in the resolution?
Go right ahead.
Right. Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hunter.
Yes.
Trustee Bill.
Yes.
And when's the date? Do you want to get back with us?
Is that a
Date
meeting?
that you and the rep.
What works for you guys? Give me some dates and I'll check around. Schedule stuff. Next week would probably be the best. So we're going into Memorial Weekend and
How about our next meeting,
your next meeting.
fourth, Tuesday, second?
Okay.
23rd.
23rd. Do we want to pull a special and start it a little earlier? Would that work for you to do 6 o'clock be too late?
Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
With me.
We'll make it.
Yeah, we'll make whatever work.
And you'll tell
I will.
your two guys.
Just send it out on group me right now.
Are you making that as a motion to do a special meeting?
Yes, please.
Motion.
Is there a second on that?
I'll second that special meeting at the next meeting to start at 6:00. Roll call?
Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Hunter?
Yes.
Trustee Good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate everybody's time.
Thanks for everything. I appreciate it.
My pleasure as always. Always great coming out here.
You, in 2 weeks,
Sounds good.
6:00.
Thank you.
Just take it easy.
You too.
Thank you.
Nice seeing you.
Yeah, me too.
You said, Golden Hair can't breathe now from that ear thing I've had since they were there. Just,
Is the peanut gallery good? Are we good?
Thank you.
Yep.
okay. We'll move on to our departments. No one's here from the sheriff's department. We'll go on to Robert.
Just an update on Old Harrisburg Pike where we're restoring the ditch bank along the road. We should be finishing that up tomorrow. For the time being, we just got the really bad stuff, but I'm still planning to keep going along that whole ditch bank. Because the same thing will probably happen later on over time. We had a successful cleanup despite the crummy weather. Yeah, had about the usual stuff we always have, and probably 85% of it come in the last 2 hours. So
Wow.
I think it just, the weather got nice and everybody probably realized what was going on. So we're finishing up brush mowing. We're gonna switch mowers and start mowing the road ditches so we can get them done by Memorial Day, sorry. Other than that, I got an email from Franklin County Public Health. Them and Columbus are hosting they're calling it a tire take back event. There's gonna be 4 of them throughout Franklin County, different times. I'm gonna try to get this put on
I'll have
Okay.
David. do it.
We'll have that posted on our Facebook page. The closest one to this area would be June 24th at Big Run Park at 4201 Climb Road from 9 a.m. to noon. The stipulations are that there is a limit of 10 tires per household and the tires must be rimless.
So did you get a lot of tires at the cleanup?
We did. Actually, the last cleanup, we were kind of down, but I think we made up for it this time. So, and a reminder, there's going to be a volunteer work day at Ebenezer ME Cemetery on May 20th. During that day, they will also have a ribbon cutting for the tree library. I don't know if anybody has driven by there, but it looks pretty nice.
I saw some pictures he had posted. It's pretty.
But I'm not sure if he's totally done with it, but yeah, just what I saw the other day looked very good.
When I talked to him, he was still working on the shelves, I think.
Okay.
And is Hannah, can you unmute Hannah or does she have to unmute?
Yeah, she can unmute herself.
That's what I would like to invite you to is the tree library ribbon cutting at noon, May 20th, if you're available.
Okay, noon.
What it is, an old oak tree died in the cemetery, Ebenezer Cemetery. And the gentleman that lives across from the cemetery, Bill Dawson, has been sprucing up that cemetery for years. And he had us cut down the tree, leaving us enough of the trunk that he has cut a hole in it to make a door with shelves, and it's a free library. He plans to put little seeds in there that people can come and get seeds, and we can put books in there. Kids can come. It has glass, doesn't have glass door in it yet, and a tin roof. He wants to put solar lights in it if he hasn't already. But it's beautiful, and the cemetery is, let me see.
It's at the intersection at Alkire and Coons.
Did you hear that?
Yep, I heard the intersection, yep.
And this cemetery honors the veterans. And Bill says it's the final resting place for some of our veterans from several wars dating back to the Revolutionary War. So it's a very interesting little cemetery, and it's beautiful.
Sorry.
I think that's what you said.
So,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead.
I don't know what I said, but the intersection is Coons and Johnson.
Oh, Coons and Johnson, not Alfire, okay.
Thank you. No, not Alkire. Alkire's at
Okay.
the other end. Yeah, it's Coons and Johnson.
Thank you for the clarification. Yeah, no, that sounds like a cemetery full of history and like a really interesting installment they're putting in there, so.
I'll email you a link to his information.
Yeah, that would be great. I would appreciate it. And I'll definitely check my calendar and see if I can make it and take some photos and write something for it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Are you finished?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Did you, on the agenda, I received an email, 5155 Norton Road in the brush. Can you take care of that, or?
I'll
Probably
look at it,
just-
I'll look at it and pass it on to the engineer's office.
Okay, and his concern was it gets out of hand before he calls them and they come out and they say they will remember to do it and do it regularly, and they forget.
Well, they've
So
got,
I thought maybe you have a list you keep track of, or once you drive by it and see it, you won't forget.
but they're in the same boat I am. Like right now, we've got our brush mower on. That's what they have to have. They just can't take a regular ditch mower and mow it on. They have to have that on.
I don't think he's called them. He said it was bad last year and he just hadn't called.
I'll look at it. See
All
what I
right.
can think of it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Now we'll go on to fire department. Chief Whiting, are you there?
He's here. I got his list.
Okay.
I am, yes, but I'll let Jeremy give the report and then I got something to add when he's done.
Okay.
Okay, so for us, the month of May, we're going to concentrate on boat training. We have a lot of new employees and young employees, and we're going to be into Trapper John season here before you know it. For apparatus, our new Medic 231, it just went back to Braun. It's got warranty work to be done on it, so I'm not sure that we have an exact timeline on when that'll be back. We made some repairs to our backup boat motor. It just needed a little TLC, so it's off and running well. Chief's in the process of getting quotes for a new printer, fax machine, scanner for up front. We've had some issues. Ours is 7 or 8 years old, so. Several smoke alarms have been installed. We've caught some on some runs and got some people taken care of. Flower sale was pretty successful for us. And then we received a couple of resignation letters from one very long time employee and one that's been here for quite a few years. It was Jason Mack, that's been here since 1994, and Josh Hammond, who's been here since 2011. And then the light, they both actually are recently being promoted, and they're both going to be captains of their respective departments.
Really? Good. Chief had noted on here, we would like to thank them for serving the township and the citizens and wish them the best of luck. And both of them going to be captains? Great.
Yep, in fact, John Payman's getting promoted as we speak.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay, then I would like to make resolution 30 to accept Jason Mack's resignation letter.
I'll second that.
Roll call,
Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hunter.
yes.
Trustee Good.
I'll make resolution 31 to accept Joshua Hammond's letter of resignation. Randy seconded. Roll call,
Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hunter.
yes.
Trustee Good.
Hey, anything else from you, Jerry?
Not for me, whatever the chief
Chief?
has.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you the update on where our reporting is for those funds. Today I just received our approval for our sam.gov, which I needed the entity number to go on and finish the other document on the reporting. And when I talked to them, they said, trust me, they said we're way ahead of everybody else because there's a lot of townships that aren't even where we're at. So I'll keep you posted. I'm working on that right now, trying to get everything I need to, because I have to submit on the accounts and get everything opened up and squared away again, and then we can submit our report for that reporting. So we're not
Is that
alone. But
information helpful that I had sent you last week? Did that
it
help?
was. I called that gentleman. He laughed. He said, "Well, you're way ahead of every other township that's been calling." I said, "Well," I said, "that's good," but I said, "We're just trying to get this squared away." So yeah, we're making progress. And I today received our SAM update that we're good to go, which I needed that entity number to start this other process. So I'll keep working on that, and I'll let you know once I get that squared away or if I need any more information.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to old business. David Smith, the zoning officer, has been working on a problem property at Seaman Road in Georgesville, Wrightsville. It looks like it was a chop shop. They dumped a bunch of auto parts. And he asked me if I would drive by and see if it was still there, because he sent the owners a letter. It's an LOC. All the stuff was still there. I sent him pictures and he is submitting it for prosecution. And today I spoke with Adrian Allen from the Franklin County Public Health about the letter we received that someone came to the meeting with a few meetings ago about the septic system in Darbydale. And he said that letter was appropriate for them to put a septic system there. He said there are several other properties in Darbydale that are suitable for septic systems because they are not close to the sewer line. And he said it would be cost prohibitive and not necessarily close to it. He said some of them, there may be other reasons, something in the way. But he said, if the property in question, if it were close enough to go through someone else's property, if they got permission, they could do that. So that's where we're at on that. So I would refer them to talk to him for any other information. And received an email from, it was a complaint on no water at community gardens. And I forwarded that on to Michael Santone with the Ohio EPA. And we received a complaint on Georgesville, Wrightsville of a business running a party house in a pool. And after I thought about it a while, we had many complaints last year from noise coming from that area. So that's probably the house. I know the sheriff's department had been out there several times. Is there any other old business? New business? Do that.
Sure. I was contacted by Minuteman, Ohio Comp. They are an MCO and provide services that Sedgwick currently provides to us. Currently Sedgwick provides our MCO and our TPA services. The MCO, we don't pay. That is actually, through the BWC, they pay the MCOs. This MCO currently has the lowest claim cost out of the 6 largest MCOs, and being a smaller organization, they say they're able to offer better attention to detail, watching the claims more, making sure that all the procedures being submitted are actually necessary. So I wanted to see if you guys have interest in using their service for the next year. They offered to, you can only do MCO switches every 2 years, but being new, they did offer that they would provide us a letter to basically switch back if we're unhappy with their services since it's brand new. So if you guys
Is there a cost savings there?
no, we actually don't pay anything because the Bureau pays them and it's set costs. So it's basically part of our workers' comp premiums. They did say that if we want to look at their TPA services, they feel that they can beat Sedgwick's cost on that, but we've already paid Sedgwick for the next year. So obviously we wouldn't want to do that right now. But we could have them, as our MCO for a period. And if we're happy with that, we could have them give us a quote to do our TPA services.
Okay, I'm good with that.
So do we need probably a resolution for that or?
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute, what's it gonna be? Resolution 32, to bring on Minuteman Ohio Comp as our managed care organization.
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Trustee Sheets?
Yeah.
Trustee Hunter?
Yes.
Trustee Good.
Okay, any other new business? Paula?
Okay, I had forwarded, your information that came from, that risk assessment and mitigation strategy workshop information that they have put out. I printed out the entire report. It has information in there on everybody, including Pleasant Townships. I saw on there, sorry, I saw on your agenda where you had asked about the email from David. I did get a copy of that email, but we've never paid it directly.
Right,
I think it's all
it's an auto renewal, so it just comes out.
comes out of, I think, well, when they're saying they're automatically renewing it, I think we just don't have to do anything. They're going to renew it. But I don't know that I've ever gotten an actual physical bill from them. For some reason, I was thinking it was going through the fire chief's office.
I think it is.
It used to.
Because it's
And they-
39.
And I think they paid it off the credit card or something.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So,
That's what it is.
so like I said, I haven't,
I put it on there just to
yeah,
make sure.
no, that's fine. Yeah.
You
but
see
I'm
that
just-
39.98 pop up.
Yeah, so, but I'm just saying, I don't think I've ever physically got a bill paid it directly. I just have, a lot of information that came in. The county or the commissioners had a rezoning hearing that was canceled. The planning commission, has a meeting tomorrow scheduled. We got, a reminder from the, county township or county auditor's office, that budgets are, due July 20th. I gave you copies of information that came out from Cheryl Brooks, the county treasurer's office, on tax district report cards. It was in with your piles. Okay, I don't know if you saw it. A whole handful of emails from the State Township Association on legislative updates. Updated information from Burnham and Flowers on their contacts. Several emails from the Franklin County Board of Elections on The unofficial May 2nd primary special election results, and they were having a special meeting. I forwarded to you the May participation. I thought when we were talking about insurance, I had given that to you. It was the May participation numbers and wellness resources. So several emails from Franklin County Soil and Water, just their newsletters. BWC News from Sedgwick for public employers. Email from Morpsey newsletter. Lots of emails from SWACO on free household hazardous waste collection events, grant opportunities. I sent those to the department heads. The Ohio State Township Association has a webinar available. Wellness coach information. Healthy SU sent out a thing that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. The State Township Association newsletter, the State Township Association magazine. Not sure why they send this out, but the state auditors or the county auditor's office keeps sending out weekly residential home sales reports. Okay, I already mentioned that about the tax budget. Just a flyer from or an email from Bureau of Worker Compensation, just information. And then Bureau of Workers Compensation had received a copy of a letter that they sent to an injured worker, and I did have copies of that for you guys. I will give that to you. And then I had that flyer from the Minuteman, Ohio, that Randy just spoke about. So that's all I have.
Do you want to set a meeting night for the budget?
Oh, well, we don't have to do that till like June, sometime in June. I mean, it has to be done by July 20th. So typically we do it toward the end of June. Yeah. So, but they had just sent that out really early this year.
I'll just keep a note on the agenda then.
Okay.
Just set it. Hey, is there anything else? Speech days. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
Roll call.
Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Hunter?
Yes.
Trustee